Hey everybody, it's Gerry coming to you today from Rythmia Life Advancement Center in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. Today's broadcast is going to be a little bit different because of the state of the nations and the state of affairs in the United States. And I want to talk about some of that. Normally I talk about different things, but I'll start out. Rythmia is a life advancement center, a plant-based one in Costa Rica. And I first want to update you on the coronavirus. The coronavirus, I still believe, has a 17% infection rate, a 0.3% infection rate, which is about mortality rate, which is about 3 out of 1,000. And now that's been confirmed by the WHO 10 weeks after I said it, which is just a very lucky thing. But I have the use of plant medicine, and apparently the WHO doesn't. Anywho, I want to talk about some things. Remember this: the coronavirus will be over before you know it. I just watched here the planes flying over Rome. Everything is back on and back to normal there. It will be very shortly before things are back to normal here. I promise you that. I promise you that. About the looting and rioting and protesting, my heart is broken. My heart is broken for so many reasons, because there was the greatest opportunity that the country's had in a very, very, very long time to make real change, and change from the right way. But I want to tell you something. The opportunity is not completely lost. And poor George Floyd, what a terrible thing is going to get associated with him, and it's such a sin what happened to him. So I want to talk a little bit about that and how it relates to us and how we go forward. So my thing is, this protesting and rioting and all this stuff, this will be over in about a week, in my opinion. And I took a journey just a couple nights ago, in about a week. And how it ends will be up to us as a country, up to us as a people. And I would love it to end the right way. My overriding request to you is to remain safe, to remain calm, and to remain balanced. And I know that that's a hard thing to do in times like this, but I want to talk about some of this stuff. So we have a chance to come out of this, and because in my opinion, the rioting and stuff over in a week, this return to normalcy about a month, and things are going to be back to the way they were. How do we want them to end? How do we want this legacy to happen? How do we want to learn from this? These are all the important questions, and I believe that this is a way of looking at things that has to change amongst us. It's always, always, always darkest before the dawn. And this is the darkest peak. This is the turning point until the light. I promise you this. I really, really do. One thing is this: you can't win a war by hurting the people on your own side. There's no way of doing that. You cannot hurt the people that are on your team as an act of protest in a war. It doesn't work that way. It's just illogical and it's stupid. And so what is this war about? Is it really a race war? I believe not. I believe it's a war against abuse of power. If anything that I saw in the George Floyd thing was just a massive abuse of power. And it is done to white people, it's done to black people, it's done across the board. So if the war is against an abuse of power, then how can we ruin the business of our black neighbor, ruin the business of our Chinese neighbor, ruin the business of our white neighbors, ruin the business of these people, ruining businesses, destroying property, creating havoc and chaos? How does that in any way get us to win the war? It doesn't. As a matter of fact, and this is where this gets complicated, there are probably those people that are inciting the most hurt subgroup of us, they're inciting them to create chaos. And so that chaos can later be blamed on them. It's crazy, crazy stuff. You can't, people have to wake up to what's really going on so that together as a family, as one unit, we can calm each other to do this thing in the right way. And the right way is through peaceful protest, through nonviolent protest. And that point, I believe, has been pretty much made. So just remember this. The people that want this do not want progress. They want chaos. And why do they want chaos? They want, it's a very interesting circle, that they want chaos, and they want then to blame that chaos on a group of people later, so that they can get their way of being back in order. It's really, really, really crazy. So we have to be aware and smart and centered. So what I'm going to ask you to do, so just remember, the people that want progress are in one place. The people that want chaos are in somewhere else. And if you see somebody wanting chaos, that's not coming from a place of the heart. Chaos is never heart-centered. Ever, ever, ever. Ever does chaos, you know who chaos is. So chaos does not come out of a centered place. Chaos never comes out of a centered place. It comes out of a fragmented place to create more fragmentation. It's not of the thing. It's not of the light. It's not. So when you see that happening, question where that's coming from. And there's going to be enough evidence after this thing is over about, and you're going to find out about this 2 months, 3 months, maybe even 1 month from now, who really was behind this whole thing. And it's opportunistic. Not that the George Floyd thing wasn't a terrible miscarriage of justice. It was the worst. It was one of the worst, an abuse of power, one of the worst things I've ever witnessed in my life. But then people who were opportunistic and had an agenda at hand are taking this and using it to create chaos, to later blame this on why people shouldn't have certain freedoms. And this is really, really, really dark, wrong things. So please stay away. I don't ever use the term stay woke, because woke can be related to cancel culture and things that are not of light themselves, right? What I'm going to say is stay awake, stay alert, and stay in truth. If we can do this, if we can stay awake, stay alert, and stay in truth, we can bring light to discussions that are happening all over about what's going on right now. And if enough of us come from a place that's heart-centered, if enough of us come from a place that's truth-centered, and talk peace, and talk truth, and talk justice, and talk fairness, we're going to get somewhere we never had the opportunity of getting in the past 50 years. And this is the truth. This could be the biggest stride forward for us. This could be the pearl in this whole coronavirus pandemic resurgence of light. This could be a real thing. We can do this by doing this. Staying alert, staying awake, staying in truth. Talking peace, talking fairness, talking justice, talking level-headedness. These are the things. And protecting each other. Because where this can really get out of hand is if citizens start wielding guns to protect their own property, and all of a sudden you have a kind of a mini war, and then you have the government come in and use military force against its own people. It can get all crazy right now. So what I'm going to count on my Rythmia family for doing is to really be alert, and to really be a symbol of peace during this thing, and a symbol of tranquility, and a symbol of fairness and calmness and level-headedness. These are things of the light. Wholeness does not act that way. Wholeness does not act that way. Wholeness does anything that has to do with chaos and crazy making. One of the things that happens in journeys is the darkness shows up as a joker. The darkness will show up as like a joker or card. And that darkness is a crazy maker. It's a chaos maker. It does that to get its own darkest agenda to the top. Please don't fall victim to this. And it's very, very easy because it knows that people want justice and fairness and goodness. And it presents an opportunity to get this the cheap and easy way, and it never, ever, ever works. All it does is it puts that back on top again. Please, really, really, really use these words and talk about it with people today. Don't share this if you can. Really share this and get this thing out, because the more of us that can talk peace, calmness, truth, and balance, the more of us are. It's very easy to sway the people that have the right intentions back to wholeness, and because as much as they want to shortcut with chaos and all this stuff, once you really start talking about the truth about how wholeness operates and how this is a divine opportunity set up by the universe for us to get things more balanced, this is the chance. We have to move forward together in peace and in love and in unity. And these things have never been more important than they are right now, because this thing will be over before you know it. And I mean before you ever know it. When I said that about coronavirus, I was talking about months. I'm talking about this in weeks and days. This will be over. And it can end in a wrong way. It can. And how would it end? What would it look like ending in a wrong way? It would look like, the people of America don't know what's good for them. Look what they did. They brought this on themselves, and here's what we found out in the end, and da-da-da-da-da. And let's take some of their liberties away so they can't ever do this again. That's how it can end the wrong way. How can it end the right way? Things calm down, and we stick to the guns of peaceful protest and getting justice served in the right way. And then not only getting justice served, you can't take out all of the angst on the situation that occurred. You have to fix the system that brought it. And how can we fix that system? By doing this the right way, and then getting a lot of how the police departments operate across the country to change in a way. Not to change in a way that's hurtful to police officers or anything, but changes in a way to bring balance and racially and all other ways to do that, That's what would be wonderful. Hi from Orlando. Hi, Alexandra. Hi, guys watching from wherever you're watching. I'm glad that we had a chance to talk about these things, and I'm counting on you to bring this about, hi Zenny, to bring this about and bring this change and bring this way of speaking forth, bring this way of kindness forth. And when I say forth, you have a chance to speak this to everybody in your circle, everybody in your circle. Okay, we're having some technical issues, I understand, today. So I'm going to wind this up today, and I wanted just to get this opportunity to talk to you and to let you know that this is a super important week in the history of the world, and to do the right thing during this week. Our actions right now are more important than ever. So, by all means, may God hold you, may God protect you, may God keep you cold, keep you safe this week, and may your words be the words of God. May your words bring truth and light and fairness and balance and sense, please, this week. God bless you all, and we will talk to you next week. Peace.